Hello, everybody. Hey, thanks for tuning in this week. This is episode 4. Super excited. I had to take last week off. A few things come up that needed my attention, so that's where my attention was. But I'm back, and I have some thoughts and some stories, and I even have one pet peeve I'm going to share with you. So I'm Maxetta. Thanks for tuning in to Chatting with Maxi. I'm trying a new, what do I call it here? It's a vlogger, like, holder. It has, like, the little attached ring light. It has a microphone and a place for me to put my phone. So I'm super excited. My friend Beth gifted it to me. I thought that was really, really nice. But I find myself shaking the desk a little bit, so I'm sorry if it's moving. That would be my fault. We all know that everything is super professional here on this video. Not really. But anyways, just bear with me as we learn as we go. You know, I shared something on social media a while back, probably a couple weeks ago, and it said, like, your first podcast will be terrible. Your first song will be terrible. Your first YouTube video will be terrible. But you'll never get to your 5th one without starting somewhere and doing your first one. So I'm learning, you just jump in and do the thing. We learn as we go. It's trial and error. I'm learning positions and editing and lighting and sound, and I'm learning as I go. But here's what you're always going to get. Realness. Just realness. Just me. Right? So take it or leave it. That's what you're getting on Chatting with Maxi. So listen, here's where we are tonight. I'm not at home, as you might see in the back. We actually came up. Rise MEC tournaments are this week, so we came up to Wallen so we could watch them and cheer them on. And we have the cutest little Airbnb. It is so quaint and just so cute. And I was afraid to take the plunge into utilizing Airbnbs. I just was. You know, I just think of all the things that could go wrong. And I thought, I'm just going for it. Those things could go wrong in the hotel, too. The old Hampton Inn, it could go wrong there, too. So we actually, though, have hit the jackpot. This is wonderful. Got a great deal on it. It's super clean. So, anyways, little different background. We won't have to worry about the color of the curtains, right? Got the old, what I now call the night shirt, because I called it that in my first video as I was on Little House on the Prairie there for a minute, but no, it's just my night shirt. It's clean though. Chris washed it for me. It's clean, fresh out of the dryer. So let's get to chatting. Listen, we missed last week, so I'm full of the chats tonight, but I try not to hold you more than 20 minutes. We all have things to do. I'm going to start off this chat with a little pet peeve. Now, you know, I said that I really, the hope of this time on YouTube is to provide encouragement and some laughter and hope, and really that when we end, when the video is over, I hope you feel a little pumped up, a little excited, a little glad to be you today. But I'm going to share this with you as it keeps coming up, okay? On Facebook, I have posted about my struggle with paper towels, paper towel dispensers. Okay, so I've about got those down now. I'm learning to take my time and see if we put our hand under, if we're twisting, if we're pulling, how we're getting a good old paper towel. What seems to be bothering me, now this is in a lot of areas, okay? Bathroom stall doors that open in, like in towards the toilet. Well, yeah, I mean, those are not friendly for the ladies that are above average size, okay? It's a struggle. You know, you have to stand up and straddle the commode and pull the door open and try to get out of it, and you got your little purse, and I don't like those. I'm not sure who designed them or what engineer thought, oh, this is a great idea. let's reevaluate that, please, friends. Let's get those doors swinging out. You know, like when you go in, you open it, you pull it out, you go in, you do what you need to do in there, and you come out, and you're headed to the sink to wash your hands, because washing your hands is a necessity. It's not an option, okay? It's what you do after you do what you do in the bathroom stall, okay? So let's try to get those doors swinging out. Let's try to. I know there's a lot of other things going on in the world that needs our attention, but let's not forget that. Okay. Oh, as I said, we are here for the Mountain East Conference tournaments. And this will be Rye's last week of his first year of playing college basketball. And it honestly seems like yesterday that we were pursuing this dream of his. And I will tell you that this year has went better than we could expect. The team is truly a family. They have been very good to him. He's made some great friends. So we're excited, but you know, again, you hold those things. There's an and. It doesn't always have to be an or. Like, we're excited and we're kind of sad that the season's coming to an end, right? But it's been a great season, and we're excited for tomorrow night to cheer them on. Okay, I'm going to need everyone to pay attention. This might be the biggest reminder. Now, I'm going to say announcement, but I mean, unless you've lived under a rock, surely you have heard it somewhere. But this is your reminder that Friday is a big day. It's a big day. Well, old Morgan Wallen dropping a new album. 36 new songs. Holy moly, 36 new songs. But I'm excited for it. I like his music. For a long time, I didn't listen to country music. Do you remember in episode 1 when I told you I wanted to share with you my changes and growth? Maybe I should call it evolving. I don't know. In my walk with Christ, you know, you just learn. You learn. That's why God gives such grace and mercy to us. We learn. The more you know, the better you get to do. But anyways, I say all that to say, at one time, I mean, now when I was younger, I listened to country music, you know. I mean, let's go, girls. Who didn't listen to that? But then I went through a few years where I was like, no, nothing but Christian music. Now, let me go ahead and do a little sidebar right here. I do think it's super important what you feed on. Remember we talked about last week, or week before last, our influences in our friend group, or the people we're around the most. Well, the music that we listen to influences us also. So, be aware of what you're feeding on. I still listen to a lot of Christian music, but I have started listening to country music again. Now, my kids crack up at me because I've made some discoveries, Morgan Wallen being one of them. Really, this all started when I went to college because we were empty nesters. It's quiet. It was really quiet. But anyway, so I do listen to his music some. Let's not get crazy. I don't listen to trash music. I'm aware of what I'm putting in here. But I am excited. His new album drops Friday. Probably no one knows my excitement of discovering Morgan Wallen's music more than Jenny Farley. Okay? Jen, I worked with her. She was a co-worker in my previous position when I was located in a different office. And she heard some, I even serenaded her some. I mean, she heard some Morgan Wallen via Maxi's pipes. And, well, I mean, they're not the same. She made it, though. She made it. So, listen, so what I want to tell you about what has been on my mind, okay? I was either listening to a sermon online or I read it in a devotional. I don't know. But I came up on this line that just really struck a chord with me. It says, God has a reason for your existence. And then whoever I heard it, they were either teaching or preaching or sharing it, they said, make that personal. Make it personal, excuse me. God has a reason for my existence. I like that so much. So we have seen, which, I mean, this isn't new, but I think because of social media now, it's out there a little more. We have seen a lot of people, sadly, die by suicide. And these people have had lots of money, lots of fame, what we would think the perfect life. Like, how could they be unhappy? But we learn time and time again, almost daily, sadly, we hear of someone passing away. And it just reminds me that what's important isn't in our bank account. It isn't in our status or what our position is at work. It's just something much greater. And people even not of the, like, that are famous or celebrities, you know. But my hope is that if someone hears this today, you're reminded that God does have a reason for your existence. And then as I was studying, I come up on this, and it says, God has a purpose for your existence. You were created on purpose for a purpose. And you make that personal also. God has a purpose for my existence. I was created on purpose for a purpose. And we were each created uniquely. Like, one won't look like the other. Our purposes might have similarities. They won't be exactly right. Like, we each have a unique design, and we each have a unique calling from God, right? Now, I think I referred to this verse, I think that I did on one of the episodes, but this verse was a game changer for me. I think that I learned this in 2017 when I was doing a study. It's in Genesis chapter 1. I only have one Bible with me tonight, and it is my Spirit-Filled Life Bible. It's the New King James Version. But anyways, it's in Genesis chapter 1, and it's after God has completed, like, creation. You know, he created everything, everyone, the earth, the sun, moon, stars, sky, lakes, animals, us, of course, in 6 days, and he rested on the seventh. But listen to what he says in Genesis 1, chapter 1, verse 31. It says, Then God saw everything that he had made, and indeed it was very good. Indeed, it was very good. Everything he had made. Well, we're one of those everythings, right? So we're good. So when the thought comes that you're bad, or whatever you've done is unforgivable, or it's awful, or it's terrible, you remind yourself, hold on. I was created on purpose, for a purpose. God has a reason for my existence. I was created, and he views me as good, okay? Then in Psalms, if you go to Psalm, let's see here again, I'm sorry. Okay, on this new setup that I have, I'm unsure where I'm looking, so I don't really know where my eyes are going. Just pretend like they're looking at you. Psalm chapter 139, verses 13 through 14 tells us, For you formed my inward parts. You covered me in my mother's womb. That's God. He formed us in our mother's parts. Like, I think about, I'm going to be a grandma this summer, and that little baby that's growing in its mama's belly, like, God is forming. He is knitting it together. He is uniquely designing it. He knows every vein, every hair on its head, what its little eyelashes will be like, its little nose, any little dimples or, birthmarks, or, he designs us. He knows us from the inside out, right? So anyways, in verse 13, it says, For you formed me. You formed my inward parts. You covered me in my mother's womb. 14 says, I will praise you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Marvelous are your works. So God has told us we're good and we're marvelous, right? Like we're one of God's works. So I hope that encourages people that might be fighting depression or just feeling low or just wondering if they have a purpose or if they're seen or does anyone care. Yes, we do. I do. God does, right? And he has a reason for your existence. Like you do matter here. There's one more verse that I want to share with you. In Jeremiah chapter 29, verse 11. This is common. You've heard this probably many times. We're going to go ahead and hear it again though. For I know the thoughts that I think towards you, says the Lord. Thoughts of peace and not evil. And it's to give you a future and a hope, right? So whatever you're going through, like don't get stuck there. Keep making progress. Keep pushing the gas and going through it. My pastor used to say, don't park there, okay? Keep going through it. You're going to get to the other side. I mean, God tells us that it says, for I know the thoughts that I think towards you, says the Lord, thoughts of peace and not evil, and to give you a future and a hope. All right? So keep moving forward. Get help. Listen, I am a big, big advocate for get help. Whether it be from a friend, get professional help. There is no shame in reaching out and getting professional help. Talk to your pastors, talk to a friend, talk to your mother, your mother-in-law. Talk to someone. Someone cares about you and wants to hear right from you and wants to remind you that God has a reason for your existence. Like if you're struggling and you can't find anyone to remind you of that, just push this and push rewind or fast forward wherever you're at. Hear my voice telling you God has a reason for your existence. You were created on purpose for a purpose. And he has plans to give you a future and a hope. All right? So, yay. And that even applies to the people that designed the bathroom stall doors that open in instead of out. Bless them. So, I just want to remind you, it's a little bit shorter than normal tonight. But I ran over week before last, so, right, it'll even out. But I want to remind you to go out there and do good, and do truth, and do right by people, right? And be kind to people too, yes. But remember, God wants us to love mercy, to love compassion. It doesn't make everything right. Like, it doesn't mean things aren't wrong or hurtful or bad. That's not what it means. You're in control of you. I'm in control of me. And I have been preaching this to myself. Last week we had an incident. Something come up, and I had to out loud say to myself, Maxetta, stop. I want you to do good. I want you to do right and do truth. I mean, because frustration just was right in my face, and it was mixed with a little panic, and actually there were a couple things come up last week. One, frustration was mixed with panic, and then in another scenario, frustration was mixed with a little anger. So I had to rein it in, Maxi, and remind myself to do good, to do truth, and to do right. And I did so. Sometimes you do things you just don't want to do, but you do it because it's right. So, anyways, I hope that encourages you tonight. I'll be back next week, but please share this with your friends. Share it on social media. If you haven't subscribed, I would love for you to, please. Just create an account. You have to have an email that works to create an account. Subscribe, share it all over. Let's just get the word out there that you matter, that God has a reason for your existence. And yeah, thank you all so very much.